streets of Europe in the 16th century. One would probably imagine it like it is today, beautiful, green, and peaceful. But, in fact, the streets were covered with waste, both human and animal. Not only that, but there was a constant danger of getting hit by flying excrement that was emptied out of second-story windows. But this was all solved by the sewer systems which were first constructed efficiently in the US in the early 1900s, after several years' debate over how the problem of water contamination could be solved. Cities like New York were facing the problem of water contamination and several epidemics of typhoid, cholera, and the plague. The number of deaths occurring per year drove these cities to begin searching for an answer to their problem. Some people who helped clean up the city were those from the Board of Health. They had their first meeting in 1805 to help stop an outbreak of yellow fever. The idea occurred to these people when some health inspectors journeyed to the slums and witnessed the piles of waste and dirt at first hand. They also discovered sick, infectious people crammed into small tenements that were overflowing with disease and waste. These inventors had many obstacles to overcome. One obstacle was the rich landowners in the slums who refused to give the immigrants fresh water because it would cost more money for the landowner. City dwellers who began constructing sewer systems and incorporating them into modern cities had to fulfill a fundamental need in order to adopt this innovation. Sewer systems have become part of modern cities in order to satisfy the need for sanitation. According to professors at Harvard University, cholera is usually transmitted through contaminated drinking water, as John Snow first demonstrated in 1855. Also, according to BBC, in the mid-19th century, London was suffering from recurring epidemics of cholera. In 1853 through 1854, more than 10,000 Londoners were killed by the disease. It was thought at the time to be caused by foul air. The hot summer of 1858 created a great stink of London, which overwhelmed all those who went near the Thames, including the occupants of Parliament. Outbreaks of disease, foul air, and dirty water all led to the development of sewers. Disease outbreaks helped lead to the development of sewers because of how many people were being killed by typhoid, cholera, and the plague. These diseases occurred, however, because of contaminated water, so these also led to the construction of sewers. Finally, foul air led to the construction of sewers because of how unbearable walking around cities became with a foul stench constantly in the air. The city dwellers of the modern world could not have adopted sewer systems if certain key resources had not been available. The most important resource that led to the adopting of sewer systems in modern cities has been enclosed sewers. They are giant enclosed tanks, mostly made of concrete, where anaerobic bugs eat the sludge, producing methane and other gases. Also, according to the Foundation of Water Research, increased urban development and requirements for tighter control of the quality of effluents discharged into rivers, estuaries, and coastal waters has led to the need to operate wastewater treatment works close to the residential and commercial areas. Odor from treatment works is often considered to be a significant nuisance. Enclosure of the works enables the odors emitted to be reduced. The enclosed sewers has been critical to cities because they would eliminate the stink of the waste. As a consequence of this, the incidence of cholera would decrease in percent. This was important since cholera was a deadly disease which, like said before, killed millions of people in the different countries which had a big population. Finally, these modern city dwellers believe in a set of values that has allowed them to continue to enjoy the urban life. The most important value that led to the adopting of sewer systems was the citizens had good health. According to a Scottish newspaper, Martin Frost's, with a low population, the waterways were able to absorb the pollution without any serious detriment to the health of the populace, who continued to use the streams and rivers not only as the means of disposing of waste of all kinds, but as a source of drinking water. Also, according to BBC, together with the frequent occurrence of cholera, gave impetus to the legislation enabling the Metropolitan Board to begin work on sewers and street improvements. The value of having a good health was important because the people living in filthy cities would have a better quality of life. Because of this, cities were forced to create boards of health and appoint inspectors to make sure the inhabitants of the city were healthy. They created sewers which made the color disappear since the waste wasn't thrown in streets anymore. This being done caused a great population increase because it made cities more appealing to foreigners looking for work and produced less deaths because of the deadly cholera.